Yep, tastes good. Hi, welcome back to Lost and Found. Today we're talking about meal prepping and the habit of preparing your meals in case you're starting your wellness journey or maybe if you would like to lose some weight. I guess you guys have heard about the 80-20 rule when it comes to weight loss. Health experts talk about the 80-20 principle for weight loss, where your efforts are 80% on the diet and 20% on exercise, which means that dietary expectations are way more than your efforts in the gym or breaking yourself on a treadmill. So before I continue, I need to mention this. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an expert on the matter. I'm not a health expert or anything like that. I just happen to be recording my discoveries, my experience, and all the things that come along with it. But I have to mention that before I did start this journey, I did see a doctor who treats lifestyle diseases, gets people on the wellness journey. He also has a space for people when they want to work out with a personal trainer and all kinds of things. So I did see an expert, and that's how I'm actually basing a lot of the things that I know, including just general research. So, meal prepping. When it comes to meal prepping, I usually use an app. Before that, when I was seeing my doctor, I had a meal plan which I printed out and put on my fridge. Then there was a time when I wrote it on a whiteboard and hung it up in my kitchen, on the kitchen wall. Then I used an app called My Plate, which was really great at keeping track of my calorie intake, including my weight, exercise every day. But I unfortunately stopped using because the free version was no longer free anymore. I had to pay for everything. So I ended up going with an app called Carb Manager, which is really popular for people who do keto or people who do low carb. Yeah. So Carb Manager is really it for me. And every day I track what I'm going to eat for breakfast, lunch, supper. You can even track your water and your weight and the steps you've taken, the calories you've burnt. There's so many apps out there. My app of preference is Carb Manager. So when I start my weight loss journey, again, I try not to start with too much. I try and go easy because I'm so used to eating foods that are high in carbs and eating a lot of comfort food. Of course, the cravings don't go away as soon as I start my health journey. So I usually start with things like nuts, ground nuts, cashew nuts, peanuts. I also start with a lot of peanut butter. Yes, too much of it is not good, but I just sort of ease my way into the clean way of eating or the new way of eating like that. Usually I also crave bread because I love me some bread. So what I do is I actually eat keto bread or low carb bread. And that just sort of helps me until I'm at a point where I don't crave the carbs anymore. Then I don't really need to eat it as much or even at all. So today I'm going to make microwaved keto bread. Why microwaved? Because it's easy to make. It takes a really short time. The ingredients are easy to find, and it's just a simple recipe to follow. That's what I'm gonna do. It takes me about 10 minutes. The ingredients are very few, so yeah, this is what I'm gonna do today. Let's go to the kitchen and I show you how to make it. So I lay out some butter and about 1/3 of a cup of almond flour. Almond flour is a little bit expensive where I live, so I usually use desiccated coconut. We also need 1 egg, preferably 1 large egg, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1 pinch of salt. I put the butter in a bowl. The recipe says a mug, but I prefer a bowl. Then heat it in the microwave for 30 seconds. The recipe then says to add the almond flour, but I personally use desiccated coconut flour, which is more affordable and easy to find in the supermarkets here. Sometimes I use ground up groundnuts, which costs even less. So I measure out the desiccated coconut into the grinder, the thing that usually goes on top of the blender. Then I close it and grind it for 20 to 30 seconds. This reduces on the coconut clumping and bringing lumps to the mixture later on. I then add it to the butter and beat it in. I crack the egg and drop it in. Then I mix the eggs, butter, and coconut flour together. If you prefer, you could use a whisk, though a fork should work just fine. You could beat all the ingredients together, but I prefer to do it 1 or 2 ingredients at a time for a more consistent mixture without lumps and stuff. Don't forget to keep scooping the mixture around the sides of the bowl or mug. I then add half a teaspoon of baking powder and mix it in. I then add a pinch of salt. I then cover the bowl to prevent the mixture splashing all over the insides of the microwave. I then pop it into the microwave, then set the timer to 2 minutes, although for this batch, I set it to 2.5 minutes because I used far more coconut than usual. My microwave is over 10 years old, so it takes longer for food to heat up or cook. Once it's done, I remove it from the microwave, place it on a cooling rack, and let it cool. Make sure the bread is firm. You could try to put a table knife in the center to test if it's cooked. Then with a spoon, gently pass it around the edges to prevent the bread cooling and sticking to the bowl. And voila! There you have it, your healthy bread or keto bread. I remove the bread from the bowl once it's cool and flip it upside down. Then I slice through it. What you do with it afterwards is totally up to you. You could toast it, eat it directly, or make a sandwich with a filling of your choice, such as veggies, meat, peanut butter, or whatever your dietary areas cover. Personally, my favorite is an egg sandwich, which I made here. Yep, tastes good.